My name is Father Antony Gabriel. I'm retired after almost 60 years in the priesthood, and lately 40 years, close to 40 years in Montreal, the city of my heart, it seems. And I'm going to talk to you about the heroes of Antiochian Orthodoxy who planted the seeds of our Antiochian heritage in North America. I have selected for the first person to talk about, and someone that I knew intimately and who I loved from all my heart. His name was Protosyngellos Ellis Khouri of Grand Rapids, Michigan. The Protosyngellos is a special title for a celibate clergy who had a prominent role in the archdiocese. And this was bestowed upon him by Metropolitan Antony Bashir, our primate at the time, during a convention, I believe in Houston, Texas, as a surprise. And the Archbishop was ill during the week of that convention, but he came out on Sunday and he bestowed the title with a special cross to Ellis Khouri for his preeminent role in assisting the Archbishop in this country during the whole ministry of Metropolitan Antony and later Metropolitan Philip. Father Ellis Khouri was born at the turn of the century into a priestly family in Chiam, Lebanon, which is, I believe, close to Darmimas in Lebanon, in the diocese of Marjayun. He came to this country as a young man, while his brother Joseph stayed in Lebanon and became a priest, and we met him in 1966 when we were there. I'll talk about that a little bit later in a few minutes. Father Ellis Khouri came and he knew the literati of the Arab world living in New York. They were called the Pen Club. And I'm talking about Kahlil Gibran, another luminary, Aliyah Abu Mahdi, and Mikhail Naimi, and Abdul Masih Haddad, and a few others. And actually, this group modernized the Arabic language that was fully endorsed by the people of the Lebanon. Their creativity did many necessary poetic and uplifting challenges to the Arabic language. Now, Father Ellis Khouri knew these men intimately. He gravitated from the New York scene to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he was I believe a owner, if not the owner of a bar, which none of us who knew him could imagine Father Ellis Khouri serving anyone drinks. He was very tall and very slight. He was actually, he looked ascetic. In fact, we all called him the living icon. He ate very little. He was very disciplined in his demeanor and behavior, and he was ordained to the holy priesthood after he left whatever business he was doing, because his heart was in the church. And he became the pastor of St. Nicholas Antiochian Orthodox Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan, after Philippos of Vassili had left. And he remained there after he retired and passed to eternity. He was their longtime pastor. But at the same time, while he was pastoring St. Nicholas, he also had a wider experiences. As I said, first, being very literate in the Arabic language. He was a part of that group in New York, in which even Anthony Bashir, the Archbishop, was a member. In fact, Bashir translated Kahlil Gibran into Arabic, because Kahlil Gibran wrote The Prophet in English. In any case, there was this wonderful circle of intellects, and Father Ellis was one of them. He also found himself at Edinburgh, at the World Council of Churches, Faith and Order, and he was a member of the team that went there as a member of the delegation. He was there along with Father Alexander Shmemin and Father Georges Florovsky, the two members who had much to do about St. Vladimir's Seminary. Father Ellis Khouri was an avid reader, and his knowledge of theology and Arabic literature was phenomenal. He was really an austere fellow, but with his title as Protosyngellos, he then became the leader of all the priests. In other words, if anything occurred that the priest needed someone to speak to, Father Ellis Khouri was the man to go to. His advice was always balanced, clear, lucid, and he was very much integrated into the North American life. He was a very close friend of Gerald Ford. And once when I was in the White House during Gerald Ford's presidency, the first thing I mentioned to him was greetings from Father Ellis Khouri. And he gave me presidential cufflinks to give to Father Ellis Khouri, which I later inherited, as I did with his pectoral cross that I hold dear to this day. He was really like my father in the priesthood. He gave me some stern advice, and I took it, because I know that he would never, ever speak out unless he loved and was beloved, and his truth that he communicated was the truth. And one time I was in a meeting, and I guess I was over talking. He came over to me and he whispered in my ear and he said, "Please keep quiet." So I knew I had to stop talking. And he said, "No priest should over talk. Say your point and get off the stage, so to speak." He was really a masterful builder in Grand Rapids, and built a beautiful, beautiful church, a very modern edifice in his day, and it was dedicated by Antony Bashir. And there's a picture of him with Bashir giving someone the keys to the city in Grand Rapids when he was there for the consecration of the church. And I have this picture that I always have with me on my desk, and other pictures. I mean, I love this man. He came to all my celebrations. He was always there whenever I needed someone. I used to call him every single week to check on him. When Anthony Bashir died, God rest his soul, it was Father Ellis Khouri that kept us all together. He was the master who was able to hold the whole archdiocese together during this very mournful period in our lives, because we loved our metropolitan. We loved him to death. You just cannot imagine how sorrowful was the whole archdiocese, because he was really our father. And Father Ellis Khouri, as his closest advisor and buddy and friend, transmitted that same closeness that held us together during the funeral rites and afterwards. And in 1966, when the Metropolitan passed away, there was no word from the Middle East regarding his successor. Father Ellis Khouri led us in a delegation to go to Lebanon and Syria and appeal to the Patriarch and all the members of the Holy Synod, or the Council of Bishops or Metropolitans, to please urge a speedy resolution to the election and consecration of a successor to Metropolitan Antony. And believe me, in those days, in the 60s, we were right in the Cold War period. Very few people even today would know about it, in which Russia and America were antagonists in everything possible in the Middle East. I'd love to talk more about that, but Father Ellis Khouri, by his presence, was able to overcome the tension that existed, because some of the metropolitans, quite frankly, were educated in Russia, were very pro-Russia, and were used by the Russian government. And but generally, like the Patriarch, was very pro-American, and he was cited in Time magazine when he was elected Patriarch to be the pro-American contender for the throne of Antioch. We forget how much the foreign governments were involved in the various polity of the church. In any case, Father Ellis Khouri led this delegation of myself and Father Tom Ruffin, Father Joe Shaheen, Father Rados, God rest his soul, and Father George Khouri and Father Ganam, and others, to appeal to the patriarch. And we made visits to all the archdioceses. And Father Ellis Khouri, in his masterful Arabic, communicated the desires of the clergy and laity of the archdiocese. And on our return to America, the Synod had elected Metropolitan Philip Saliba. So our mission to Antioch was a huge success. A lot of agony, blood, sweat, and tears, as you would say. But under the leadership of Father Ellis Khouri, we succeeded. Father Ellis Khouri was also considered to be kind of the father of SOYO, the Syrian Orthodox Youth Organization, which began after the war. He was always their spiritual advisor for the national body. And I remember when he retired, there was a banquet. I was invited to speak on his behalf. I believe it was in Indianapolis, so long ago. And all the SOYO members from all over were there to salute Father Ellis Khouri for his forward thinking and understanding that it was for the youth that the church must appeal in order to integrate in North American society and make Orthodoxy a part of the fabric of North America. And when the young men and women came back from the war, it was this vehicle for them to be reintegrated back into the church when they came back from the horrors of the war. And Father Ellis Khouri was the spiritual father of this movement and of so many others. And the Antiochian women, and of St. Ignatius of Antioch, the order of the St. Ignatius of Antioch, which we founded under Metropolitan Philip. And Father Ellis Khouri became our first honorary member by his endorsement of this group of businessmen who graduated from all other organizations to have a vehicle in order to express their creative energies. And Father Ellis Khouri was always a forerunner and always in the front and always ready to serve. Well, I should conclude my few remarks about Father Ellis Khouri with prayers for his blessed soul and a call to our clergy and laity to do research about the heroes of Antiochian Orthodoxy who planted the faith in North America during very turbulent times, and yet they persevered, and we are the inheritors of their labors. God bless Father Ellis Khouri, and God bless you. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button on your iPad, your iPhone, or whatever. Put also the subscribe button. Please subscribe and push the notification so you'll know when we do these videos, when they come out. Thumbs up, subscribe, notification. Remember those three things, and I'd be very grateful. God bless you.